What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Pokemon Legends Arceus. In the last episode, we finally became an official member of the Survey Corps. And we actually are out on our very first expedition, and we're going to be trying to catch ourselves one of these, or at least taking down one of these. I think I'm actually going to fight the first one, and then we will catch the second one, if possible. Because I want Roddy to get himself a little bit more experience and the like, because leveling in this game is actually incredibly easy, but you do have to be pretty diligent in the way that you do it. So I'm actually going to use Shinx here a little bit in the near future, because I do need to get some quick attacks in, but there's a couple things I want to draw your attention to over in this area we're in before we get a little too crazy. So I'm going to wait for this Ponyta to turn around, and I could stun the thing. Which would be interesting, but I don't want to cause a fuss. Let's hit this thing like that, and then let's throw Roddy at it. Okay, so keeping its guard up. Don't you run away. Oh, you piece of crap. Okay, maybe I'll have to find myself another one. Gosh dang it. I probably should have done spoiled apricorn and then the Pokeball instead, but I did it in the exact wrong order there. That's fine. All right, so let's get ourselves some Tumblestone. We got a whole things to get. Okay, this right here. Let me draw your attention to this really quickly. That is not just a Rapidash. Do you see its red eyes? That is what is known as an alpha Pokemon. Now, alpha Pokemon are not to be trifled with. If I were to run in and battle that thing, I would get absolutely eviscerated. I'm not going to do that. No. What I am going to try to do, though, is I'm going to see... This is going to be really silly if I do this. I'm going to see if I can catch this thing with a backstrike, because this is a nice way, if you can catch one of these things, to cheese leveling really early on. This Rapidash right here is probably like in the 30s level-wise. So we're going to do that. Probably not going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway, and it instantly broke out. It's okay, though, because we are still in cover, so it's not going to notice me. Of course, the second it does notice me, I need to hightail it as fast as possible. Now, you're not usually supposed to be able to catch things like this early on, but it is, like I said, it's a very good way of cheesing things, and if I can catch this, I would get a lot of experience for my little guys, which would be really, really nice. I probably shouldn't go out in the open here, actually. We actually have Vivichoke over there. I would not mind getting one of those. Vivichokes are used for crafting stronger types of potions, as well as certain other items that we have not yet gotten the ability to get, so we're going to want to make sure we stock up on those, at least to an extent. But these things are going to be the greatest source of experience and the greatest source of challenge for you in this game. So do keep that in mind. All right, come on. Is that going to be enough? Nope, that one instantly broke out. Okay, I'm going to give this one more shot. Although, has it actually noticed me? It's nodding its head yes, so I would assume it's saying it is. But I'm going to give it one more shot, and if it doesn't work at all, then we will have to come back for that one a little bit later. But I wanted to see if I could at least give this a try right now. More than anything, I just wanted to point out alphas in general. You'll also know an alpha is near when you hear that music, which, as I get closer to this thing, you'll hear it again. It's got the drums going. You can hear it in the background. It's very ominous, being like, hey, you're about to get messed up if you don't be careful here. Which alphas can absolutely mess you up. Come on. Okay, that's my last one. All right, didn't get it. All right, we're moving away. Go. Okay, so, yeah, alphas. I'm not even going to bother fighting that thing. It would not be worth it. It would be a suicide mission to even try it. We're just not going to mess with it. Instead, we're going to try to catch ourselves another Ponyta. We're going to give this another shot. So let's see if we can do it. What is in the grass here? It looks like a Bidoof. Okay, well, I'm not going to mess with you. You can just run away. Let's try this thing. Actually, let's do that. I was a bad miss. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. And we got the back strike. Is that going to be enough? Come on. Ah! Okay, hold on. Is it going to take off? Yeah, it's going to take off. Gosh, dang it. Yeah, they can be a little bit tricky. Oh, hold on. It's still here. It hasn't actually, like, despawned entirely. Although, is it still aware of me? I actually don't know. No, okay. It's no longer aware of me. That's good. I have another chance at this. They are the hardest Pokemon to catch in this particular area. Even harder than Eevee, I know, which Eevee do have a pretty darn low catch rate, but let's see. It's going to be really nice later on when we're actually able to get more stealth-based items that are going to allow us to do this kind of stuff more effectively. Right now, though, it's just sort of seat of your pants, take the opportunity when you get it sort of thing. Okay, I think we're good. Be really quiet here. Get it. There we go. Okay, this has got to be the one, right? Got it. There it is. There's a little hop. Perfect. And we have caught ourselves a Ponyta. And while we're at it, why don't we add a Starly to the catalog too, because I do need one more. Excuse me. Actually, I did say I was going to train Shinx up a little here, so I should not have done it like that. And that's going to run away. Gosh dang it. There it goes. No, I should have waited for a back strike. Hold on. Actually, Shinx, while you're at it, why don't you go get some Tumblestone over there? Let's watch out for this. Starly in particular. We got Shinx up to level 8, which that's cool. The experience that you get from gathering resources and stuff is pretty negligible, so don't, bank on that for too long. I mean, it's nice. It's a little bonus, but it's not anything crazy. So I'm going to get a couple quick attacks in just because that is... Oh, wow. Okay, just 2 then. Yeah, so we're stunned to move. Let's use another one of those, and we should be able to take this thing out no problem. I was going to resort to a Thunder Shock to make sure I could finish it off, but I didn't even need to do that. Okay, so there's another Starly defeated. We got some Grit Dust, and I can actually talk about that for a minute. Okay, Grit Dust. Mysterious dust that raises the effort level for one of a Pokemon's stats. It can be used to raise effort levels only up to level 3, however. So, this is a little bit of a longer conversation, but EVs and IVs. IVs, which are individual values, were a Pokemon-specific statistic that are only in the other Pokemon games. In Legends Arceus, IVs do not exist. They are not a thing. Every single Pokemon is technically, or of the same species, is on equal playing field. EVs are where that comes into play, however, though, because this is how you increase your effort values, which can be increased up to 10. However, and I'm going to give Roddy this for his attack, you can only use specific grit items on specific stats. And as you saw with the Grit Dust, it only increases that effort value up to level 3. After that, you're going to need a different type of grit item, which is going to only go up to 6, then another one that only takes it up to 9, and then a last type of grit item that you must have if you want to max it out at level 10. This is the difference between the weakest and the strongest Pokemon in this game, is using these grit items. They are incredibly important, and even if you get really high leveled, you will find that your Pokemon faint pretty darn easily if you do not spend adequate amounts of Grit Dust and Pebbles and the like on their effort values. So do keep that in mind. Now, Ray is actually over further that way. I know I've drifted off a little bit. But I did want to just kind of demonstrate a few things as we move around. So let's actually go and find Ray really quickly. I do kind of want to get... Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to head back to the camp really quickly, which technically, if I wanted to, I think I can just... I can just go to the camp immediately, so we're just going to fast travel there at any given time. Now, what I'm going to do, if you're heading out into the wilds, best be well prepared. So, I can talk to this guy, I can get a rest to heal my Pokemon, I can actually do some shopping and get some items if I want to, but I can also just see my Pokemon. So, the pasture, this is how Pokemon boxes work in this game. You can access your Pokemon at any given time, and I am going to get myself Eevee, and swap them out for one of the Bidoof. We'll go with this one since it has the worst EVs, and then we'll put you at the second spot in the party. Okay, so I was able to grab that, and like I said, we have Shinx with us, which is pretty good, and now we can actually start to use our Eevee, or at least get it some experience as we go. So there's another Shinx down here, which I want to say I do need to take out another one with ground-type moves. You know what? Actually, I think a Shinx on Shinx battle would be great here. So let's do that. And we'll just quick attack this thing to death. So come here, you. So, this thing is level 4, so we should be fine in this department. Let's just use that so we can see the move a certain number of times. Shinx is going to use Quick Attack right back, which is perfectly fine with me. And we'll also get the research task for the defeat. Almost got it. Look at that. That's like 4 demonstrations already, and now we're going to get a 5th, which is great for our research tasks. That is how you speedrun that. Got a Cherry Berry out of that. There's another Shinx up this way, but we're going to ignore that one. So you can see now, look at that. We accomplished exactly 2 more levels in the Quick Attack department, which is pretty darn sweet. So I'm going to have Eevee do most of the resource collecting here in the future, just so that, I can get myself some nice experience points on it. Of course, Ray is right here, where there are a few apricorn trees around him. Grab those. Let's talk. You're doing pretty well for a mystery stranger from the sky. Here, a little reward for keeping up with me. Your own crafting kit. So now we can actually craft anything we want on the fly, which is great. So we just have to go into our satchel and select that at every time. It's going to be in the key items menu. We also got a recipe for potions, which is pretty good. And that is where the medicinal leeks are going to come in handy. We need an orangeberry and a medicinal leek. The crafting kit, you can craft items anywhere using whatever materials are in your satchel. So long as you got an apricorn and a tumblestone, you can make a Pokeball anytime. All right. So thank you, Ray. And I'm going to actually put that to use here in a second. Research going all right. You can see if you've got tasks ready to turn in on the Pokedex cover. So, yeah, 28 tasks, which is pretty great. We'll see the effects of that here soon. Once you got some tasks good and done, go check in with Professor Laventon. See you soon. So, a few more things we're going to do. I'm going to grab some more apricorns along the way. Let's see if I can get myself in a little bit more trouble here soon. That should get Eevee to level 5 here. And maybe, once that is done, we can see if we can pick a few more fights. So, I'm going to actually head up this way. I know we've already kind of been through here a little bit, but I'm going to see if I can cause a bit more trouble. What's up, Bidoof? And that was not a backstrike, even though I thought it was going to give it to us, but that's okay. So let's use Aqua Jet here to knock down this Bidoof a little bit. We can use Rollout. Okay, so this one is going to actually attack us, which is good. And because it is fixated on using Rollout, there's absolutely no way it can run away, which is good. Perfect. All right, so we got another spoiled apricorn out of that. Another one. Actually, that was our first one defeated, which is pretty good. Let's see. What else can we get our hands on as we go out this way? We're kind of just going back and forth a little bit, which is fine. I actually do, like I said, I need to actually fight some Wurmple. So let's do that so we can get a little bit more information on its Pokedex. Now, you actually see there's a Tumblestone crystal over there that's actually sparkling. We'll take a look at that in a second after I get into it with this Wurmple here. Once it kind of looks the other way. There we go. Just kind of maneuver around it. It's pretty easy to maneuver around their line of sight. You just got to be careful and know exactly what the range is for that. So let's use Aqua Jet again. Beautiful. Wouldn't it be funny if we could actually stun that alpha and somehow take it out in time? We can't, but it would be funny. Okay. We got that, and that gets Roddy to almost level 11. So I'm going to throw this at this stone, and when you have a sparkling one, you have a chance of getting Stardust, which is great for selling. That's how you get like 1,000 Poke, I want to say, for every Stardust you sell. So something to keep in mind as we go. Grab more medicinal leeks along the way, and then we're going to head on into our satchel, and we're going to actually look at this crafting kit really quickly. So, we've got 28 apricorns and 39 tumblestones, so we can make 28 Pokeballs out of that. Perfect. We have 12 orangeberries and 18 medicinal leeks, so that's 12 potions. So we have plenty of potions to go around now that we can use on all of our little critters, which is awesome. That is going to come in great handy. I'm going to avoid you. We're not going to mess with you. So as I head further over this way, I'm just going to make sure there's no more items I'm missing. I'm going to grab some more tumblestone and berries along the way, and then we'll kind of loop back. So we got another Ponyta over here. I'm going to fight this one, if possible, as I try to keep out of its line of sight, because I don't want to alert it by running at it. So if you don't mind, Roddy, take that thing, and we're going to Aqua Jet it a few times and get ourselves a little bit more experience. Because Ponyta has a big speed advantage, that's why it already has that it was already set to go twice in the turn order, but Aqua Jet was able to mitigate that. It's all about gaming the turn order when you're in battles. There's many different ways to do it, and it'll become even more expansive as we unlock things like agile moves and strong style moves. Okay, there's another Eevee over here, so I'm actually going to try to catch this thing. So let me do that, because this thing might come in handy. There's also natures to still take into consideration, so something I might need to check out once we actually use our Eevee. So, oh, this one's a female, so that's extremely rare. Okay, good to know. I'm going to definitely try to catch this thing, if possible. So, caught unawares and stunned to move. Okay, Pokeball time. Let's try this. Come on. Yeah, those are extremely rare if you can get one of those. Yes! Beautiful. So, now we have 2 Eevees on our team. And that is going to be the absolute most that I do with them for the time being. I mean, I'll still catch and battle more Eevee in the future, but we can take a look, actually. Let's see what this one's nature is first. This one has a mild nature. That's actually not half bad. I know exactly one Pokemon that would be really great on, actually. It'd be actually really great on Glaceon, now that I think about it, because Glaceon already have pretty high natural defenses, but also need that special attack boost. It's not the best nature in the world, but it is a doable one, that's for sure. So we got a couple more fights we can pick up here. I'm going to actually try to catch one of these things unaware really quickly here. So let's do that. We'll continue to use Roddy here. So now that this one hasn't actually spotted us, I can get in a few attacks. And actually, you can see here with Tackle. So we have Agile style and strong style. So here's the way that this works. You can actually see the move info as I select them. So if I click that, you can see Tackle has a power of 40 and accuracy of 100. If I go to Agile style, it gets weaker, but it actually allows us to affect the turn order. Now this time, it's not going to have any effect, but in future turns, it would actually allow us to go twice in the turn order, for instance. Much similar to how we would get with something like an Aqua Jet. However, there's also strong style, which boosts the attack a little bit, but makes us go slower. So we're going to actually do a strong style move here, because we do want to see these. Now, using strong style and agile style also uses 2 power points for the move as opposed to 1. So that is also something to keep in mind. So for the next turn, I'm going to use an agile style, just so that we can see the move in action. Still got the same animation, but it does have a different effect to it. And there we go. The more you use a certain move and the more you level up a Pokemon, the more likely they are to master said move, and as a result, be able to use them in their strong and agile styles. So that is the benefit to keeping moves on your Pokemon and not switching them on the fly too frequently. All right, I'm going to fight one more Shinx here really quickly. And in this one, I'm going to try to get with Eevee. Was not able to get that perfectly, but we're going to see what we can do here. And if I have to, okay, I'm going to use Quick Attack here, because that's just going to have the added benefit of same type attack bonus. We have a Thunder Shock. Good job, Eevee. You're going to be fine. So it looks like we can't really affect the action order all that much. The priority on the action order is not a huge difference. It's actually pretty negligible, but it eventually does add up. And there we go. Good job, Eevee. Proud of you. That should get Eevee to level 7. Awesome, because obviously the battling Pokemon does get the most, the biggest bonus of them all. But I am going to, come on, you can make, oh, fine, I can't make it. So you can't jump in this game. That's something to keep in mind. So you can't really mess with terrain too much while you're on foot, at least. In due time, though, we will have ways of getting around that, I promise. Just you wait, it will happen. I'm actually going to throw Eevee at this thing real quick. And we're just going to kind of move on past these Bidoof as we head back to base camp. But I think that that was a pretty darn successful set of... Oh, what do we got here? Let's see. An Apricorn. Okay, just sitting on the ground. I think that was a pretty successful expedition. I mean, we got what? How many research tasks do we have? 40 unreported tasks. So that should do us good for getting ourselves our first star. At least I would hope it would. So, Laventon, let's talk. Oh ho, if it isn't a crafting kit. You must have listened attentively to Ray's teachings. Excellent work, dear girl. This seems like a good time to explain to you about survey reports and the rewards they offer. You submit survey reports, you'll receive money based on the level and number of Pokemon you've caught. You'll all receive more money if you've fulfilled certain conditions, such as catching a species for the first time. On that note, let me check the research tasks you completed thus far. So, we caught all these Pokemon, a bunch of them new, and we're going to get to see 14 Pokemon caught, 10 or more Pokemon caught in one report, which is a bonus. We achieved that. Different Pokemon species caught, 7. Pokemon caught for the first time, 7. Pokemon caught using a backstrike, 8. So we get 2,431 for that. As I said before, you don't get a lot of money in this game. Even all of that was only able to net us not even as much as we were given as a pittance. I see. Most illuminating. I'll have to update our Pokedex with this new data. And so with that, we should be able to see that we now actually have some completed Pokedex entries. So Oshawott's complete, Shinx is complete, and we are actually pretty close on something like Wurmple. We still have a little bit to do with Starly. You can also see their preferred foods, which is going to come in handy at later points. All extra things we're going to want to work on, but all of these are now updated, which is great. 8 new species registered. Bunch of extra points. Well beyond the 500 needed to get to the next rank. And boom. You've made good progress on these research tasks, Akari. I do believe you're ready to move up the ranks. Let's head back to the village and report the good news to Captain Silene. It's time you earned yourself a star. And with that, we are done with our research report. So every single time you level up a star, you're going to need to report to Captain Silene. Now, before I do that, really quickly, I'm going to make some changes here. We're going to go actually check out some of the Pokemon that we got. This is where the pasture is at, so we can always check in and see what we've got here. So our female Eevee here actually has a quirky nature, which doesn't really boost anything. I'm going to add her to my team in place of another Bidoof. And then we're going to actually take our last Bidoof out for... Oh, so Weasel only has Quick Attack. I thought it was going to have Aqua Jet. So I was right in my assumption that we weren't going to be able to see it use anything. We're going to actually switch it out for Ponyta because just for the type differences we have across the team, which is going to be nice. Back to survey work. Okay, so we have a couple of things we're going to do along the way. And by a couple of things, I mean we're going to do exactly one thing. We have that Wurmple to show, which luckily we don't need to actually have it on hand to give to the guy. So let's talk to him real quick. Have you got a Wurmple you could give me? We do. We actually have 3 that we can give you. So why don't I give you the worst one? Here you go. The one with the least amount of EVs. You really brought me one. You must be as good as the rumors say. I'd like to name this Wurmple right away. Now, I've been told his Wurmple will evolve into a Pokemon known as Beautifly, so I should give it with a name like that in mind. What are you going to call it, Beauregard? It's a tough decision. Which of these do you like best? Beauticia, Beautifred, or Bugene? Oh, gosh. Bugene might be the ugliest name I've ever heard. We're going to go with Beauticia. That sounds the best, if I'm being honest. I'll raise Beauticia to be a splendiferous Beautifly. Wait and see. I do like Eugene, though. That's a good name. We got Dazzling Honey. Okay, so that is something we can actually use a little bit later. But let's head on inside the main hall and go and report our success to Silene. And you actually get some nice rewards for leveling up a star. You have progress to report. I will judge his worthiness. Show me your Pokedex. Okay, here we go. You have made progress. It seems you have earned yourself a star. And with this, you've officially attained the rank of 1st star in the Galaxy Expedition team. And there we go. 1 of 10 stars achieved. Seems pretty easy, right? It gets a lot more complicated the later you go on. Trust me. You can now use Heavy Balls. Pokemon up to level 20 will also obey your orders reliably in battle. The rewards you earn for your survey reports will be more generous now, too. Have these as well. These are further recipes you'll need for crafting. We'll talk about Heavy Balls in a minute, but we have the crafting recipe for those. We need black tumblestones and apricorns to make those. We also got a recipe for crafting Revives, which is another thing Vivichokes are necessary for. Vivichokes and 2 medicinal leeks. That a stranger like you should fall from the sky and yet flourish among us is like a testament. Like this is a testament to your native talent and hard work. Most people prefer it when things are simple enough to be judged on face value alone. And proving your worth by moving up through our ranks is something anyone can understand. Keep at it, and even if you did fall from the sky, people may be more willing to accept you. Working your way through the ranks will also be a help if you wish to make a life for yourself here. Higher rank will grant you access to more types of Pokeballs and greater rewards. This also includes things like more options in the shops. for items to buy. It also means more requests will be available, and you'll be able to start those. For today, at least, you've earned yourself a meal at the Wallflower and a good night's rest. I think we've done good work. Things are about to get a whole lot more crazy here, but we did get a nice demonstration as to what goes on out in the field. So, Akari, my girl, I believe a jolly good congratulations is in order. Well done on earning your first star rank. Our usual order of potato mochi tastes even better when there's something to celebrate. Hey, by the way, have you taken on that request Beauregard had? I actually did. Well, most people here don't know much about Pokemon. You've noticed, right? So it's our job as the Survey Corps to take care of any issues that crop up because of that. We're basically Pokemon problem solvers. Indeed so. Some people will ask you for help when you talk with them, while others' requests will need to be claimed from the blackboard I keep in my lab. Speaking of which, weren't you approached with a request recently, Ray? What's it all about? That one might be a better fit for Akari than me. I don't think we'll be able to pull it off unless I get better at Pokemon battling first. Ah, yes, that request came from Mai of the Diamond Clan, if I recall correctly. The people of the Diamond Clan have lived here in Hisui since before the Galaxy team arrived. If we could establish good relations, I'm sure there is much we might learn from them, including more about the local Pokemon. But we can discuss all that tomorrow. For today, we should eat up and get some rest. All right. It feels good when you're done with a nice day of adventuring and things like that. But for the next day, we are immediately brought outside because we got to talk to Ray for a little bit. Hey, Akari, before I go meet Mai about that request, mind showing me how you do in battle? Of course. So we're going to have another battle on our hands here. Great, I'll be at the training grounds. If you've been catching lots of Pokemon, you can change up your team at the pastures, just so you know. All right, Ray, well, we will do that in due time. But before we do so, there's a couple of things I want to check out around here. We actually need to get a good look around the town really quickly. But first, I'm actually going to head on into the home really quickly because I want to actually demonstrate this right here. So, item box. Yes, this is where you store all of your items, which your space might seem like it's kind of limited because you only have 6 pages to go through. It's basically unlimited. I mean, you don't want to store absolutely everything in here, but pretty much everything that you're not going to be carrying with you at all times, which is mostly going to be all non-healing items, non-Pokeballs, and things like that. You can store as much of those as need be in there because luckily an item slot does not account for, like, there's not really a limit on the number of items you can carry, really, like, if that makes sense. Like, let me see if I can demonstrate this. So, like, this slot right here, I want to say the limit on the number of Pokeballs, actually, I don't even think there is one. I think it's 999. So, like, if somehow you get more than 999 Pokeballs, then yes, it'll overflow into a second slot. But otherwise, you really don't need to worry about exactly how many of any particular item that you have. So I'm actually going to use this opportunity to craft one of the revives now that we got a recipe for that. That's what the Vivichoke was for. I can actually make 2 of those, which is pretty great. So let's do that. And we can add those whenever our Pokemon get in a pickle. So let's take a look at the clothier real quick. See what we can buy really quick. So there are a couple of I don't want to actually purchase. We can't actually wear any of these with our current outfit, unfortunately, so I can't actually look at any of that, which is a little unfortunate. So, like, we can look at least with the kimonos and things like that, and then we've also got trousers that we can go through with different colors. These are all pretty simple. There's also outfits like Karate Gis. Got some different sandals you can get as well, Zori and Geta sandals, and then we also have eyeglasses if we wanted to add those to our design. I think I'm going to pass on all of that for the time being, though, especially because clothes can get kind of expensive, and you're going to need this sort of money early on. Here we have Edith, who is a hairdresser. We are... Oh, let's take a look. Welcome, young lady. What can I help you with today? I actually don't want to select this because the thing I hate about hairstyling in this game is that if you select it, you cannot just... You've paid the money. You're stuck. So you have to pick a hairstyle, and I don't want to pay the money, but there are a few options that we could go over in due time. I'll do that a little bit later once we have a little bit more options to us. This right here is the general store. So we can take a look here. We got cake lure base, revives, potions, and Pokeballs. Now, cake lure bases are something to keep in mind. These are used for crafting different types of cakes that can be used to actually distract different types of Pokemon. We'll be getting a lot of these in the future, but for right now, we'll pass on those. We have Benny here, who doesn't really have anything for us. And then we have the crafting station, which this guy actually has recipes that they can sell us, as well as materials. We can look at the recipes. We got Remedy, Honey Cake, Ox Power, and Ox Guard. These are essentially the same as like X specials and X attacks and things like that. Honey Cakes, 1 comb of Dazzling Honey, and a Cake Lure base. We could make some of those. I'm actually going to buy that, because that is going to come in handy in the future. And then we have remedies, which these are used for healing. It's basically like for healing like poisons and things like that. So but not really super necessary in this game, and that'll make more sense later. We also have this lady here. Here at the trading post, you can exchange merit points for items and trade with Pokemon with others. Good of you to stop by. What is it you need? So we can trade Pokemon, and when I mean trade Pokemon, I mean actually trading with people online. We can also get items here, but we have no MP with which to buy these. Now, MP is gotten by a very specific method that we'll be getting into in a little bit later. But this is where you get all of your leveling items for different things, or your evolution items. Linking Cord, Dubious Disc, Razor Fang, Reaper Cloth for getting Dusk Noir, Sunstones. All your stones are pretty much here. Dusk and Dawns and Shinies are slightly more expensive. You also have the Oval Stone, Razor Claw, all sorts of stuff they're going to need. The Linking Cord is used for all of your Pokemon that you only can evolve through trading. So like Kadabra into Alakazam or Haunter into Gengar, things like that. And so you don't have to actually trade them to evolve them. And then, of course, you can also buy rare candies here. By the way, massive ripoff, absolutely not worth 1,000. If you're so overflowing in MP that you have nothing else to worry about, then you might buy a few of these, but MP is not that easy to get, and also it's going to be extremely late in the game by that point, and you'll probably have a more efficient method of leveling once you get there. And then, of course, you could waste MP on Pokeballs, but why would you ever do that? All right, so those are all the things I wanted to show off. We can actually get into a battle here. I think I'm going to try to use my Eevee here to start. All right, Ray, let's do this thing. This is going to be the last thing we do before the end of this episode. Thanks for taking a minute for me. I know your plate's full right now. Let's try it. I'm going to be straightforward with you about something. And that is, I don't understand how anyone can handle taking on Pokemon in battle. I know I'm a Survey Corps member, and I've even got my own partner, but I just can't do it. You have a Pokemon? That's right. Take a look at my very own partner, Pikachu. And look, they took away the Pikachu cry that it's been using in so many games. It actually is back to its original cry, and I love that. During that Shinx attack, I should have had Pikachu fight at my side, but my mind just went blank. And really, when you get right down to it, Pokemon are terrifying, right? Why should this thing be able to fire electricity? Don't call it this thing, it's your partner. But watching you at work completing those research tasks convinced me. If I want to do my Survey Corps work well, my partner and I have got to be a team. And our first step towards being a real team is to battle your team. So let's do this thing. Okay, Survey Corps Raid, challenge you to a battle. Get Pikachu at the front, and we are going to start with Eevee. Our level 6 Eevee at that. Okay, so Pikachu is level 9, which does give it a little bit of an advantage, and it is able to instantly paralyze, which is not good, and also is going to affect our turn order a little bit. Use Quick Attack, Paralyze, can't move. Pikachu uses Thunder Shock, that's fine. I'm willing to take a few hits with her before we get too crazy here, but it looks like only 2 Quick Attacks is necessary. I'm not going to take a chance here. We're going to actually use a potion. I know I'm using something that's objectively weaker. It would just be make so much more sense to use Roddy in this situation, but we're going to stick with Eevee for the time being, and I did not mean to do that. So the thing about status effects is they will last the entire duration of the battle, so that is something to keep in mind. You do have to actively heal them, but the second you leave battle, and I'm going to take a chance here we go. Yes! The second you leave battle, those effects will wear off. The health won't regenerate, but you will lose the paralysis effect for the rest of, or for whatever next battle you get into, which is really nice. I do appreciate that quality of life change. And that's a lot of level ups there. We will take it. That was amazing. The way you fight alongside your Pokemon, you don't seem a bit scared of battling. We'll just have to catch it the best we can, right, Pikachu? Ah, fair enough. Pikachu's got a bit of a tendency to attack, you see. That's why he normally stays in his ball. I guess the first step for Pikachu and me might be getting a little friendlier with one another. Yeah, that would be a good step. By the way, the professor has said Pokemon have these things called types, which apparently affects things. Yes, we know how types work. It's Pokemon. It's really not complicated. I love that they give us the entire type matchup chart, though. Wait a minute. Who are you? The name's Zissou, captain of the security corps. I see you've got some fight in you. Figured I'd stop by and give what advice I could. Captain Zissou is a master of an ancient martial art where you guide Pokemon in battle. Now listen, if your Pokemon's truly mastered its moves, it can actually use them in different styles, which this is where we learn about strong and agile styles, which I've already explained in great detail. Choose right for a given situation, direct your Pokemon with a little nudge. Okay. So, Zissou actually has a lot about her that's incredibly valuable. One more thing, if you want to teach your Pokemon some power moves, just let me know. We'll have to talk about this in a second. Remember, oh yeah, that's right, we need to get Mai's request. I'm supposed to meet her down past the foot of Aspiration Hill. You should come along too. We will do that in the next episode. But really quickly, we're going to talk to Zissou here, because there are some cool things you can do here. So, here's the training grounds. Your Pokemon can master their moves or learn new moves. Do you need something from me? So we can get new moves, master moves, which you can spend money to essentially instantly unlock the agile and strong style moves. You can also exchange items, which I want to say you can do that for, like, you can basically, let me explain this. So like a Grit Rock, let's talk with this real quick. A Grit Rock, if you have 10 Grit Pebbles, you can do a trade, but we do not have that. If we want to get Grit Gravel, which is the next step above Grit Dust, we would need to trade in 10 sacks of Grit Dust, but we don't have that either. So basically, if you have no use for things like Grit Dust or Grit Gravel, you can trade them in to upgrade to more useful things at later stages in the game. But let's talk about new moves really quickly. So let's start with Roddy here. Select Roddy. So Roddy can actually learn all of these moves right off the bat, and I can actually pay to do that. Learning Aerial Ace would actually be incredibly interesting for some type advantages, especially going up against stuff like grass types, which Roddy is weak to. So I'm actually going to have Roddy learn that, which is going to be huge. There we go. Roddy's pool of moves has expanded, so you have to spend money to do that, which is something worth knowing. But over time, more of those will become available, especially as Roddy level ups. Now, what about Eevee here? So Eevee can get Calm Mind, Focus Energy, Swift, Rest, Baby Doll Eyes, all interesting stuff. Now, I think that I'm going to pass on all of these for the time being, but Calm Mind, actually, you know what? No, we are going to learn Calm Mind, because Calm Mind, I forgot, it is incredibly overpowered in this game, and we'll talk about why a little bit later. So we will get that for Eevee. That's going to be huge. So we'll pass on the rest for now. That is, I think, a good use of our money for the time being. We'll explain more of that a little bit later. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode of Pokemon Legends Arceus. I hope you all enjoyed it very much. Another long episode. I know they're going to start to shorten down a little bit from here on out, I promise. So thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.